All right, so we've got our walls laid out, we've got our doors and windows laid out. Next step is just start doing our stud layout. So remember, we got our star here. This is where we start our layout from. All the studs are 1 3/8 and go. So that's our 16 inches on center. So in the corner, remember we need a 2 stud corner. So you get an X here and a block here. And those 2 studs will be installed like this in an L shape, right sitting on that corner. And what that does is when we frame this wall with an X there, we have drywall nailing on the inside. So go ahead and put your layout in. You can go through the window and door openings. Remember, above rough opening and underneath the window rough sills, you get a cripple. So don't mark those with an X, mark those with a C. Mark any drywall nailers or blocking with a B, and go ahead and do your whole layout on your deck. Okay, so I've got my stud layout on my exterior partitions. All the studs are marked. Now we need to fill in our rough openings. So like this one right here, we've got this window opening. On the side of each rough opening, you get a jack and a king. This one just happens to have a stud laid out right next to there, pretty much where it needs to go. So we don't have to worry about this one. This side, we'll get a jack and a king. And then here's our next stud. So this one is probably going to have a double king and then a jack on it. That's fine, as long as each rough opening, you've got a jack and a king. So go around every rough opening, put a jack, and a king. Jack. Again, this one's got a stud pretty close to it. So we're just going to have that jack, and then this stud is pretty much going to be on layout, so you don't have to worry about adding another one there. All right, so we've got our exterior walls, rough openings laid out. Now we can square all those marks across. So when we start cutting our plates, everything looks correct. Okay, so we've got all our marks squared across there. Now we got to add some blocking. So we know we've got our exterior wall here and our interior partition right here. On our stud layout, we've got a stud right here. So on this side of this wall, we've got drywall nailing. But this side of this wall, we don't really have anything. So we're going to want to put a block in, kind of splitting the difference. I'll do it over here. We're going to want to put a block in because we've got nailing on this side. We're going to want to put a block in right there to give nailing on this side. So go ahead and put anywhere where you need block in, go ahead and put a B, just so you don't forget that. Remember, corner posts, we got a 2-stud corner right there, so you should have a B in that corner. And wherever studs intersect. This wall, we've got a stud right here, so we need a piece of blocking right there for drywall nailing on the inside of that room. So go ahead and put a B right there. Okay, next we got to lay out our interior partitions. This one is our bearing wall, right? So we want our studs for our load path to be stacked over top of the floor joist below. So we hook on the outside of the building and we do our layout, 1 3/8 and go the whole way across. You're also going to need a stud right here to start our wall. So we can start with an X, and then we're hooked on the outside, 1 3/8 and go for all our studs. Here we've got our door opening. So we've got our jack and our king. Other side of the door opening, jack, king. Then we get into this door right here, where we've got a jack, king. And then other side of this door opening, jack, king. And then we pick up our layout. And we end with a stud right here. Oop. Forgot about the block in there. Blocking. Okay. So that's our bearing partition. We're not going to have any cripples above this door because it's a load-bearing wall, so we're going to need headers above this door. This wall is just an interior partition. It's not bearing, so you don't have to worry about floor joists lining up with the studs above. It's not an exterior wall, so you don't have to worry about nailing for sheathing 16 inches on center. So this one we can butt our plate and lay out our wall. So we start with a stud, and we got 1 3/8 and go. And you could start laying out from here. This one doesn't matter so much. And we finish with a stud. So then we square these off. And that's basically our layout. Everything's on the deck. We can adjust it all here if we made an error before we start cutting our plates and all that kind of stuff. So if you get this done, go ahead and shoot me a picture before you start cutting any plates. And that way I can look at it and let you know if you need to adjust anything or if you made any mistakes. Just pull a tape measure across kind of in the middle for scale. Shoot me a picture so I can see the whole thing. Post it to me on Google Classroom. I'll make an assignment for that. And then we can adjust anything before you start cutting plates and building walls. Okay, so last shot. I just wanted to show you guys a straight over top of the deck. And I've used black magic marker to open up or to mark out all the window and door rough openings. That way you guys can hopefully see this and it's not too confusing with all the marks on there. So like I said, go ahead and lay it out, shoot me a picture, and if you've got any questions or anything, just reach out.